What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge, powered by the almighty SportsLine. I'm your host, Allan Bell, and we have a fantastic show lined up for you this Friday. But before we get to that, let's take a look at how we did yesterday. And pretty good. Look at it. Maestro coming through. Allie coming through. M Squared coming through. The coach is on a heater. This man is on fire right now. Got a couple side plays that didn't come through. And Green Bay went with linebacker. We were close there. But a good day overall indeed. I tell you what, as the Maestro says, you know what? We always look forward. So let's bring in the stars of the show and get ready for today. Everybody, welcome in M Squared. How we doing, man?
Good morning, AB. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Doing well. Enjoyed the first round of the draft. What a crazy day that was. We've definitely, maybe a storyline I'll bring in the future, but we've definitely seen that in the past, tackles, other defensive ends have been the most important position in football outside of the quarterback. New data suggests it is the wide receiver position, and we've definitely seen the NFL teams reacting to that over the last 6 months.
Yeah, we definitely have, man. And this offseason alone, has just been crazy in terms of wide receivers. And we saw, the Jets making a run at Deebo Samuel last night. A.J. Brown is now on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's wild, but I think we're going to see even more of it, as you said. Maestro, how we doing, my man?
Doing well. Do you know how old A.J. Brown is? He's 24. I mean, They traded a guy who is not even 25, who's a yak monster, who's an elite receiver already. But I think it's like Mikey was saying, they believe the receivers coming out of college are ready. Treylon Burks, the replacement, 22 years old, and they're not going to have to pay him $25 million a year. I think they were offering $16 million a year. We've seen the Titans now at 30-1, the Eagles down to 35-1 to win it all. I mean, what weapons, an amazing cast of weapons they have right now.
Yeah, they do, and you got to give it to Howie Roseman up there in Philly. This man is not afraid to make a deal anytime, anywhere. He's aggressive. And we saw it, with them winning a Super Bowl just a few years back. It's good to be an Eagles fan because you're always in the hunt, for something. Allie, how we doing? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I don't have anything to say about the draft, but happy to
it's
be
all
here.
Right. Yeah, it's all right. Hey, we've got another 2 rounds tonight, and then the last 4 rounds on Saturday. So we've got NFL drafts all over the place. All right, let's get into storylines that affect the betting lines for today. M Squared, coming over to you, man. Give me a little bit on the weather here, Major League Baseball. What do we need to know? What do we need to avoid? Where are good weather spots here?
Yeah, there are a couple spots, a lot of not necessarily avoid spots, but spots that will definitely impact hitting. The White Sox-Angels game, definitely not conducive to hitting home runs, whether it's the baseball or the weather, but definitely the weather today. Minus 25% overall in terms of home runs, minus 10% in overall scoring, minus 10% overall in Baltimore, Boston, plus 10% in New York Yankees, Kansas City. Pretty decent hitting conditions in Kansas City today. And then in Colorado, minus 25% on the home runs, minus 10% overall in the weather conditions we see today on the mountain.
Nice. That's good to know. And you said what? Minus 25% in that White Sox-Angels game, right?
On just the home runs. Yeah, it'll be difficult to hit a home run. About minus 10% on the overall scoring production. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. I believe, that over sitting at 7, that makes a whole lot of sense in regards to that. All right, Allie, the NHL. All right. Is this the final day for most teams? Talk to us.
Yep. So most of the teams kind of last game today. We do have one tomorrow, but for the most part, everyone's really secured in their spots or not. So I think it's really interesting. A lot of the lines, you still see some of those massive favorites on there, but you still do have a nice amount of pick'ems left, which is really interesting for NHL just because usually you have those really juiced odds on the money line. But especially for player props, I think it'll be interesting for a lot of these players. Today's their last game of this season. So it might be interesting to see how they pick it up or anything like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll tell you what, Allie, I am so excited to get your picks, when the Stanley Cup playoffs begin, because there is no playoff that is more exciting than the NHL. I mean, it just brings it over and over and over. So it's going to be fantastic. Look forward to that. All right, Maestro, we got a big game 6 tonight. Memphis, Minnesota. Talk to us, man. What do we need to know?
Yeah, well, we were denied a bunch of Game 7s last night. But we do have great drama in Minnesota tonight. The T-Wolves feel they should be up in this series, and they're down. But one thing to look at as they face elimination is they've dominated the first quarter. They have covered all 5 first quarters, averaging over 35 points a game. Talking about the T-Wolves, during the regular season, these were the 2 top teams in covering first quarters. Memphis 50 and 32. The T-Wolves 49, 32 and 1 against the spread. Tonight, you can get the T-Wolves at a pick'em at only -110. They're dogs for the game at slight dogs 1.5, but in the first quarter, it's a pick'em. I mean, the only first quarter that they were not ahead, they were down by 1, but they put up 41, 39, and like I said, averaging over 35. They come out with all that youthful energy, and then down the stretch, it seems to be that Memphis, a little bit more experience, seems to pay off in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's exciting that we've got a game 6, potentially a game 7 in a series between 2 teams where the Grizzlies haven't won a playoff series since I believe 2015, and the Timberwolves haven't won a playoff series in 17 straight seasons, something around that number, right? So I can't wait to see how that plays out. If they play loose, if they play more tight, etc., it's going to be good. I can't wait to watch it. Tonight. So all right, let's get into our side plays for today. But before we do, a quick message. And we are back. All right, so we've got a couple good plays for everyone today. First, we are going to go within the La Liga, Sevilla versus Cadiz. We're going Sevilla team total over 1.5 goals here. And look, it's from our man Buckets. He says Sevilla's completely changed the way that they are playing. We should go with the team total over 1.5 goals in regards to that. Second, we're going to go with the Grizzlies Timberwolves under 229. All right. So you take a look at these teams. 60% of the games so far in this series have hit the under, not to mention both are collectively averaging 7 points per game fewer in the postseason. And look, 7 might not sound like too much, but with totals as market efficient as they are, we'll take every asset we can get. And I'll give you this nugget here, a quick stat for prop players. The Grizzlies are outscoring the Timberwolves 62-38 in the paint so far in this series. All right. Now, getting into our picks with our experts. M Squared, coming over to you. Look, I can't do it like Coach. I'm nowhere near as good enough to, but you know the drill, son. Give it to me.
All right, let's go to that White Sox-Angels game I was talking about. We're taking the Chicago White Sox on the money line, -120 here. I already mentioned the weather definitely going to help pitching in this game. 2 pitchers, Giolito and Syndergaard, both have been pretty good so far this season, both in terms of actual and expected data. But where that changes, and quickly on the actual versus expected. So the actual is the actual data. The expected data, we take every single batted ball that has been allowed by a pitcher or has been hit by a team, profile them over every other ball hit Major League Baseball, assign hit probabilities, shows you closer to where those hits should be, kind of removes the luck factor. The White Sox have been the most unlucky team so far this season by a significant margin. Their actual weighted on base average is 275. Their expected is 342. That gap takes them from the 5th worst to the 5th best team in Major League Baseball. They get to stay at home here coming off that series against the Royals, while the Angels have to travel here for this series. This is a great start for the White Sox. Let's grab them to take the first game of the series, -120. My Sims make this closer to -140.
Nice. Beautiful. I like it. All right, Allie, coming over to you. Major League Baseball, but a first 5. Break it down. What do we got?
Okay, so today I'm going to go with the Red Sox on the money line for the first 5 innings at -135. We'll see lefty Rich Hill start here today, and then Tanner Houck come in for an inning or 2 after that. Hill really hasn't been super impressive, but the Orioles have dropped 4 in a row, and I think the most important thing is that they're starting Kyle Bradish up from AAA, and this will be his first MLB start. So, I mean, the Orioles are obviously really struggling to score runs, but so are the Red Sox. But I do think that the pitching situation will really be a good position for the Red Sox to bounce back and really try and get back some of those wins. So I think I'll take the Red Sox here today.
All right. You know what? I think if you're going to take them, I'm taking them too, Allie. Let's make some money off of that. All right, Maestro, coming over to you. Staying in Major League Baseball, straight money line play. What do we got?
Yeah, there were a lot of good spots to pick from today, but I'm just going to go back to the well, and that is to play against the Cincinnati Reds. 3-16 now on the season, 59 runs for the entire season, the worst ERA in all of baseball. They have to travel to Colorado. Now, Colorado coming off a 4-game sweep in Philadelphia, they looked terrible. They didn't hit, they didn't field, they didn't pitch. I don't think they led for an inning in that 4-game sweep. It was embarrassing. But before that, they were 10-5. I mean, this team was playing well. They're back home. They have Senzatella on the mound, who's been outstanding in both of his home starts. The Reds have a rookie, Hunter Green, got good stuff, but his ERA north of 5. This feels a little cheap to me with the Rockies, so I'm going to lay it -125.
I love that. And you know what? I mean, it's probably not a bad strategy just to fade the Reds like constantly in everything that they do. Like, it's going to pay off for you when the juice is correct. An interesting nugget on the Reds as well this year. Okay, they've played 11 night games this season. They've won one of them. One. Like, it's just crazy, man. The season that they're having is just nuts. Now, I wanted to have some fun with that because, Maestro, obviously, you know, like this show, yours, M Squared, Allie's, but we have got to give some love to Coach. So he's got a pick for us today, too. So even though we're paying respect, Maestro, but we're laying out the red carpet for Coach. So, Jeweler, if you could, hit me with that pick.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Coach. And I got to tell you, day 2 on PGA Tour Live, but it doesn't take my focus away from right here on our show. Once again, we cashed with the Coach on Thursday with the Rockies-Phillies over. So what are we doing today? Well, I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I landed on one game north of the border. Astros and the Blue Jays. We're going over 8.5. Why, you ask? I'll tell you. Because when you look at Kikuchi, last time out he allowed 4 runs. When you look at Urquidy, when he pitches on the road this year, 9 innings pitched, 7 runs allowed. Plus, it's a Friday night, and I believe when Fridays or Tuesdays come around, that's a little extra mojo because it's a Friday night, and we're going to have a big crowd at the game. So let's take the Astros and the Blue Jays over 8.5, -116. And I'll see all of you. It's not the end of the show yet. We can't say that. AB, back to you.
I love him. I absolutely love him, man. He's looking good in those vids. Well done, Coach. Well done. Let's keep that streak going. All right, real quick. Julia in the chat, if you could pull up our boy, Troy Parlay Milu. All right. He's right. We did nail on Kenny Pickett going as the first quarterback. Now, the question that I have for you guys, any thoughts on the quarterbacks going tonight in the NFL draft? We've got Malik Willis sitting there. We've got Desmond Ridder sitting there. Matt Corral. Maestro, any thoughts that you have tonight in the NFL draft in regards to those QBs?
I mean, I think it should be Willis, but no real play on that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like it was so wild that, we only had one go in the first round. And now, there's just not many teams that need a QB. You know what I mean? Like supply and demand are not meeting equal there. So I'm fascinated to see it. All right, enough rambling there. Jeweler, if you could pull up the recap here, let's take a look at it. And it does look glorious today. Maestro on the Rockies money line -125. Allie's on the Red Sox first 5 money line -135. M Squared on the White Sox -120. Coach on the Astros Blue Jays over 8.5. Site plays today. Sevilla team total over 1.5 goals, and the Grizzlies Timberwolves under 229. And look at the AB3. Now look, I didn't want to completely go with everyone's picks here, but I liked you guys' picks today, right? So we're going to go with the Grizzlies Timberwolves under 229. All right, we're going to go with the Rockies money line, but we're going to go with the Angels White Sox over 7. I wanted to change it up just a bit, right? Also, Mikey, I didn't want to curse you there. I wanted you to let, you get your win, and if we mess it up, it's on us and we don't hurt you. But yeah, we're going to go with that for a nice +600. All right. That's all the damage we could do for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. We will be back live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, as always. But until then, everybody have a good day. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow.